welcome back. I haven't even had a chance to go now. I feel like a gin and tonic, to be honest, right now. But we've got a couple more speakers to come talking about enhancing customer experience. And I'm going to quickly introduce. We have Sunil Kumar, who's the head of Europe Geography EXL Service. That may be a typo, so Sunil, you can correct us on that. And then we're going to have talking about the managing the human touch, equality of experience, given in the context with Irina Butnaru, the director of Conduent. So a very warm welcome, Sunil and Irina. Sunil, we're going to start with you. Your presentation is ready to roll. The stage is yours, my friend.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for the introduction, Colin. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm based out of Sofia. I so wish that I want to attend this meeting in person. Last year I could not because of a client. This year we could not do it because of the COVID. But that's all right. I think we are all going digital, so that's amazing. A lot has been said and written about the social and economic impact of COVID-19 pandemic. What started as a small outbreak in China has now engulfed the entire world. With over 50 million infected people and over 1 million fatalities, the end does not come anywhere near us. This has completely changed the world, and all of us are thinking about lives differently. Nothing has shaken the world more than coronavirus, not Y2K, not 9/11, not SARS, not swine flu. Today, I'm going to speak about customer experience and how it is getting delivered during these tough times of crisis and how we are going to do that beyond. I'm no authority on this subject, and I do not intend to deliver any lectures today on giving out a tailor-made solution, but to share with you some live cases that I came across in the industry where companies have gone above and beyond to serve their customers and see how we can learn from them and apply that to our environment to enhance the experience of our customers. Something that we as an organization are also doing. I have 3 parts to my message today. One is, how is the future taking shape? How do we see the future and how the customer expectations are changing? Some best practices from the industry, how the companies have gone above and beyond. We'll share some live examples. And what can we learn? That's number 3. What can we learn and do to enhance our customer experience? This is how the whole pandemic situation evolved, and everybody knows that this situation did not give us time to react. We weren't ready for it. So how is the future any different than what we had already imagined of it? The answer is actually not very different. The only difference is that it came too early. We thought we had time, but we did not get any time to deploy any of these things we thought we will deploy in the near future. Thanks to COVID, a lot of naysayers also adopted the work from anywhere model, and it proved workable. It proved more productive. It proved more cost effective. And I'm imagining it is here to stay. Some companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, etc. are pushing the return to office date in mid-2021. Some are actually taking it beyond to almost end 2021. And then there are some companies like Google, TCS, Infosys, Shopify, etc. who are saying as much as 30 to 50% of their staff will work from home permanently. I do imagine that for all of us, at least in 2021. But who knows, this might be the reality for the companies in future. Work from anywhere model has made our life boundaryless. We may be able to get diverse talent, but much has been spoken about it already, so I won't go on. We all know bots and drones and driverless cars and so on. The world is going digital faster than we thought. Necessity will prove again that it is the mother of all inventions. Only this time it will prove it with speed. We have all understood that we need to have more redundant infrastructures. No BCP scenario is unreal. In fact, there is a surge of RFPs now. For example, a lot of voice work that used to get done out of the Philippines now is moving away from the Philippines to more diverse geographies like South Africa and coming back to India in some cases. With toilet papers disappearing from shelves and vodka companies having to make sanitizers and General Motors making ventilators, I think everyone has come to realize that just-in-time principle has served us well, but there is merit in keeping some inventory on hand and producing some things locally. So it is going to change the game for manufacturing companies as well. Just like entertainment, schools and trainings are already going on demand. There are parallel digital schools in universities which are opening up. I'm actually a part of one of those. Obviously, it is all going to be touchless. We all knew RFID technology was already existing in cards. It's not new. It just scared a lot of people in the past, but it has a best use case now. Apple Pay, Google Pay is not a necessity. And it's now a necessity actually more than it was considered as a fact. For now, most industries, at least the digitally enabled services sector, are experiencing a V-shaped recovery. Unless it proves to be a W-shaped in the near future, we're all here to see that. There are some best practices and examples from the industry where companies were innovative and they thought out of the box and they bent the curve faster. They changed their go-to-market models, their service delivery models, and they wanted to serve their customers best in the time of crisis. Let's take example of Zoom. They had only 20 million customers till December 2019. Within Q1 of 2020, they had over 200 million customers. A 10x jump was never planned for. Obviously, they were a B2C provider, quickly jumped into B2B segment. And rather than focusing on freeness and ease of connectivity, they started looking at data security. We all know Zoom bombing happened and how they changed their business model. We all know Uber. Obviously, they weren't doing as well because no one was taking taxis or ride shares. So Uber Eats was another segment which they promoted very well, which did extremely well during this time. We all know how Netflix has changed the game. Loom, for example, as a company, started video messaging services and made it free for students and teachers, attacked the segment of education. Docusign, an e-signature company, which is now legal in EU. Docusign is becoming a household name now. It started as a B2B customer contact signing platform, but is now widely being used in B2C. For example, I signed my son's tuition fee 2 months ago on Docusign. Even mobile subscriptions are getting signed in Docusign. Most of our contracts today in our organization are getting signed by Docusign. Amazon, since last year, was spending billions and billions of dollars to fulfill their transactions from 2 days to 1 day. They now have FAA approval in the US to do drone deliveries. This will bring their deliveries in select locations down to under 30 minutes. Now, what started as a $1 billion investment to make 2 day to 1 day is now becoming a 30-minute or less. AFQ, very interesting. They've started as a platform which can allow you to fall in queue using your GPS location without actually having to physically fall in line. FitMatch, another interesting concept, a 3D body scanning and virtual fitting tool. It's partnering with malls and retailers in the US. Their kiosks will 3D scan your body, just like you take a picture of yourself in 2D, they will now 3D scan your body. It will show you how a particular garment will look on you. This will not only reduce the spread of virus by returning, through the return clothes. This will also reduce a lot of wastage, as in some cases, the return clothes are not even in a condition to be sold again as new. Zappos, it's my favorite company. This is an epitome of customer service. They don't have the IVR. They want to talk to the customers. If you call Zappos, you will get directly connected to a human being. Now, during this pandemic, they had a lot of people available. Now, Zappos is a shoe retailer, online shoe retailer. No one was buying shoes. They had people available. So they started a concept called customer service for anything. And there was no purchase necessary. So you can just call them and discuss anything with them. Even if you don't have to buy anything, just call them to spend some time. So how do we respond to these ever-changing priorities? Now, there are some priorities written in the middle of the page, and there are some priorities which are on the far right. The priorities in the middle are the ones that have just come up recently because of this pandemic. But the core needs of the customer, which is to get everything faster, safer, better, and cheaper, still remains intact. So how do we address the changing needs? Well, the needs are not even changing. We just need to focus on the core needs. This is my last page, which basically talks about how we as an organization are responding to this new normal, or how we think the industry would also respond to the new normal. Information security is going to get renewed focus. While work from home or work from anywhere started as a compulsion or more like a knee-jerk reaction, we did not have much time to make it bulletproof. Our information security teams are now working day in and day out to create a work from anywhere environment safer and tighter. However, at the end of the day, it will all come down to our personal integrity or our associates' personal integrity. It is going to be the most critical. We have to make work from anywhere worth its while. This is a sea change from our past practices. We need to instill trust and give better productivity, better accuracy, faster speed, and zero disruption to make sure that we continue to delight our customers. Very importantly, we have to, optimize our commercial real estate. The landscape is changing. Millions of square meters are now being offloaded. Work from home has become a new reality. We need to quickly adapt, become lean, optimize our real estate, and pass on the benefits to the clients. If we don't, somebody else will. We need to start thinking of ways to add more value, things like part-time work, on-demand services, instead of permanent FTEs, extended availability, 24/7 work environment, etc. Obviously, zero surprise service delivery is a must. No BCP scenario is a scenario. It can happen. With diversification, work from anywhere model will naturally bring a lot of diversity and will make word boundaryless. It will open up large talent pool that was otherwise not available in a traditional work from office environment. Work visa, work permit, relocations will be the things of past. Biggest challenge the operating leaders will face now is how do we manage this new diverse workforce, which is working remotely, often in different cities, diverse in culture. Engagement will have to go digital. Governance will have to get formalized, as we can no longer walk up to people's desk and shake hands with them. And last but not the least, innovation is going to be the key. This pandemic presents great opportunity to wow our customers, opportunity to lead by example, and opportunity to change the course of the tide. Innovation will be the key. If we do not innovate, think out of the box constantly, we'll become irrelevant. We saw several examples of how companies quickly change their service model or go-to-market strategy to stay relevant. We will have to similarly stay ahead of the curve by asking our clients and often telling our clients what their challenges are and how we can help solve them. I will leave this page for you to read while I open it up for questions if there are any. Colin?
We're going to leave the questions until the end. Thank you very much for that, Sunil. So we're going to go straight to Irina, and then we'll see you've got some questions at the end for both of you. Okay.
Right.
So, okay. Thank you for that, my friend. Irina, welcome. The floor is yours, or the screen is yours, whatever the expression is.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you again, Colin. I guess long time no speak.
Yep.
I'm trying to actually share my PowerPoint, but I see that it's taking a bit of time, and probably it's because of the video capability. However, until it comes up, thanks, Sunil, for introducing this pandemic situation and business expectations. I think we would all agree in terms of the core needs of our customers and of the market. And us at Conduent, we took a step further, and not only thinking in terms of everything we do better and faster, but also think about an individualized service and also add some human touch in order for us to increase the quality of the experience, especially during the COVID-19 times. And this is exactly what I'm going to share with you today. And I think Sunil was saying that most of the big companies will embrace the remote work in the future. So this is exactly what we have in mind, and seeing what the market is expecting. I think we can draw a line and say that there are several things that this crisis teaches us all. We learned that people come first. We learned that we should and we must care about others. We are more flexible than ever. And we learn how to become digital in weeks without planning for years. And we've seen the percentages also in Sunil's presentation. So we know that 90 to 95% of the employees working for top 500 companies and mental health, which is something that we see that is the trend on the market. And I'm sure everyone is paying much attention and they're doing all the efforts in this direction. And I look at all these as being achievements because this practically changed the way we operate as companies and the way we deliver our services. But our employees are working from home in a safe environment, but they are also lacking social interaction. And we know that this is affecting us all. And becoming fully digital is enabling us to operate with high efficiency. But are our platforms or systems or tools able to replace the human interaction? I think this is an area that Conduent has really taken seriously, and our focus is on adding human touch elements to all the services we provide. And we provide HR services, we provide customer experience services, we provide financial and accounting services. But all these, I think, need to be revisited in terms of how do we make all these digital interactions more human? How do we bring the quality of the service to the one that the market and our clients expect? And so we not only became a sensing organization, but we help our customers become too. And I think this is very important to notice that we add elements of human touch to our setup. We ensure high level of human interaction and communication, and we ensure that anticipation, care, and empathy are at the core of everything we do. And we had a couple of months to research and pilot many of these initiatives, and we adapted them to the end user behavior. If the beginning of pandemic brought an appetite for use of technology, this is slowly getting lower due to the lack of human interaction. So how we specifically make sure that we have this human touch? Sometimes it can be a phone call instead of an email, and when it's appropriate to change the channel. And sometimes it is about changing the tone of voice and read between the lines, the need for care and or empathy besides the formal request that we get. So we transformed our setup to comprise multiple elements of human touch that would enable us to provide a better service, not only during COVID times, but beyond these times as well. So it's important also to measure the results of our human touch solutions. So we developed a set of indicators to monitor the quality of our service. And these measurements come as the complementary attribute to the service delivery metrics, to the known SLAs. And measuring the experience is also a necessity. So it came as a result of the current business reality, whereby consumers primarily manifest a need of individualized, fast and meaningful interactions. So the need to measure experience level arises based on our data understanding and research over the past couple of months. And we started with a psychology research, and we took the Robert Plutnik's Wheel of Emotions from 1918. And of course, having over 34,000 emotions in total, it's not doable for any service center, and it's not doable for any of the companies to measure against those emotions. So we took 6 primary emotions into account, and those would be love, joy, surprise, anger, sadness, and fear. And I think some of them, like the joy, like the love, the sadness, and the fear, are the most relevant for this pandemic crisis that we all face. So we took those and we started to build indicators in terms of set of reactions, set of words that are directly connected to these emotions, so that we could quantify and so that we could analyze all the requests, all the responses that we receive, all the survey results that we send to our customers. And what are the questions that everybody should ask when thinking about the service that we provide? Are we listening for our customers, and what is the root of our callers' needs? Since everything became digital, we should be able to deliver a sort of a self-service. So why are the callers calling us? And let's take an example of human resources. They are not able to find a policy, or they are not able to answer their questions if they read the policy. So are we listening for them? Do we know what they are calling for? Do we know if that policy is clear enough? Do we know if it's easy for them to find it? And then when we get further in terms of empathy, have we been empathic when the caller raised that query or the question? And how do we express it, and when it is needed? And again, in a field like HR, because this is closer to me, in case they are calling to express their worry, or in case they're calling us to express their fear, or in case they're calling us to make just a formal request, are we able to distinguish if we should express empathy? Are we able to distinguish if it's just a formal answer that they need besides a little bit of care? So how do we convey ownership? Who makes the decisions, and how we manage those calls in an appropriate manner, but at the same time with the speed that is expected from us to deliver? And what actions do we take? So everything comes down to making sure that we select the correct indicators, that we transform practically our entire setup so that it's easy for our people to transform everything, including emotions, into simple transactions and actions that they need to take without making a decision in that second when the phone is practically ringing. So how do we convey urgency? What words do we use, and what actions do we take? This is a question that is mostly used by our agents, by our trainers, and when we put into action the plans for COVID-19 situations. Yeah, so people called us to ask how do they get a new laptop, or if it's safe for them to go to the office, or if it's safe for them to meet with the team after work. These are things that we need to think through. These are things that we need to respond in the sense of mapping all the services, all the transactions within the services, and all the customer satisfaction survey questions. And mapping hasn't been easy. And also the pilots that we run, and we had a couple of customers who have been willing to participate, took us to lovely results in terms of putting some experience level agreements in place, and bring us further from the SLAs to ELAs, and talk in terms of human touch, and talk in terms of how we make technology more human, given that we lack this human interaction now during COVID, and even further, because if we think about future models, future working models, I think 95% of the top 500 companies will say that the hybrid models will be the ones that people will prefer. And we see on LinkedIn, and we see on other channels people responding to these questions. And we know that the human touch is going to be missed. So it's something that we need to overcome, and it's something that our solutions need to be able to offer. So not only that everything is becoming digital, but human touch needs to be added to all these solutions in order for us to make up for the lack of human interaction that was taking place primarily in the office. And on top of these 4 questions that all the service providers should ask, we should also add the one that is actually positioning the impact on the customer experience if all these items above are missed. And I think if we learned a lesson from the COVID is the one that talks about human and the human beings and the humanity. And I think this is the next step for all the service providers to do, to add more human touch and to start measure the experience in terms of emotions and in terms of the end-to-end experiences that we provide, rather than just looking at the service levels and how the service looks like. So I think that would be from my side, and I'm happy to take any questions and to answer along with Sunil, because I'm sure that we have some.
We have a couple of minutes. Really a quick question, I guess, that can go in terms for both of you. Irina, I heard you using the phrase human touch quite a lot there. And just from a customer service experience, I guess there's great learning and great benefits from this. Are we shifting from a sort of a processing of customers to an engagement of customers? Is kind of something to comment on, and maybe for Sunil as well. On your diagram, right in the middle there, you had happy customers. I guess from a competitive standpoint, and we're representing the business services industry in Romania, how do we keep that competitive edge out there? How do we, what's the advice very quickly on shifting from happy customers to delighted customers that would give us that competitive edge? Irina, just touch on the processing versus engaging.
Yeah, so I think we traditionally worked along the way to build partnerships with our customers instead of just providing services based on contractual agreements. But then going beyond this, and I think what this crisis showed to us is that more than ever partnerships are needed. And I think without engaging our customers and without understanding their needs and without understanding who they are and how they talk to us, we wouldn't be able to provide the quality of the services that we provide today. So this human touch comes as a sort of a verbalized way of saying that, yes, we always have to listen to our customers. We always have to make sure that we understand what they are requesting, independent if it's care, if it's empathy, or just a formal request. Okay. So I think this is just a way of putting it on paper, so to speak, and defining a concept that is missing on the market.
Okay, thank you. Sunil, we have actually run out of time. A quick 10-second answer. How do we go from happy to delighted customers? Really, sure, I guess following your model, yeah?
Sure. Colin, I think the basic theme has not changed. We've always been looking to delight the customer. I think two things we have done very quickly. One is that we went ahead of the curve, thought about the customer before they thought about how the processes will work, which delighted them. We went from working to office, from working from home in a matter of 48 hours when the customer was not even expecting. So I think that was a delighter. The other thing we did on the human touch bit as an organization is that we told people that don't think you need to be presentable on the calls every time, because it's the company which is coming to your house, not the other way around. So don't be extra formal just because you're on a call. You are at home, and we understand that. And we told that to the customers as well. So I think it worked very well. We thought before the customers asked for it, and we went ahead and did it. And we also told our people to not be overly worried about being at home and how they present themselves.
Okay, Sunil, Irina, we've run out of time, unfortunately. The next session is going to shout at me if I don't close up. So thank you so much for that. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to click on to the next session, where we actually have a psychotherapist at hand. So we're looking forward to that. But Irina, Sunil, thank you again, and we'll see you all in a while soon. Thank you.
Super. Thanks, Colin.